The investigation into 61 dogs and 3 cats rescued from a Flint Township home on Tuesday continues tonight. Another 26 dogs and 1 cat were found dead on the property. Police and animal control called it a horrible situation. So far, no charges have been filed against the people who are said to have owned these animals. Genesee County Prosecutor David Leyton tells me that they are still gathering information.
The county veterinarian is looking at the animals. I expect to have some results from her by the end of this week.
Prosecutor Leyton says every potential crime has its elements.
During the investigative stage, that's when we gather the evidence to prove those elements in the courtroom. That's where we're at right now.
According to a post on the Flint Township Police Department's Facebook page, when they served the search warrant at the home, there wasn't just a bad smell or a few animals. There was filth, toxic air, and death.
This is one of the worst ones I've seen, at least in terms of sheer numbers and in terms of the site and the awful conditions. We had something similar out in Burton a few years ago that the sheriff's department investigated. But this is probably the worst one since then.
Leyton tells me they have a lot to consider when issuing charges in any case.
We have to decide, how were these dogs treated? Were they in fact tortured? Were they in fact mistreated, abused?
Animal advocates have criticized Michigan law for not having stricter penalties for animal-related cases. As a pet owner himself, Leyton says a lot is taken into consideration in these situations.
And oftentimes, even though the statutory maximum may be 10 years, 7 years, or 4 years, the sentencing guidelines that a judge has to apply are oftentimes less than that, and many times are only probation if the perpetrator of the offense has a relatively clean record.
Based on court records, there were 2 ordinance violations at this property in 2023. Leyton telling me that those were handled through Flint Township. One was for housing 4 or more dogs, and the other was for domestic animals running at large. Records indicate both were dismissed.